let me know if this orientation looks right, because it looks right to me, but YouTube, I'm not used to going live on YouTube, and it used to be your phone couldn't be like this. It had to be like this. So let me know if it's okay, and say hello from Carson City. I'm seeing comments. This is kind of fun. Why am I never on YouTube? Okay, I'm gonna give I know people hate this like wait situation, and it's lunchtime and you probably are, but I'm just gonna give maybe 1 minute before I get started just to let people join in. Hey from Vegas and Florida, North Carolina. It's rainy and cloudy and pretty cold here in South Carolina today. So I'm sure up the road in North Carolina, it's about the same. I'm only like half an hour. No, I'm like 10 minutes from the North Carolina line. So good morning from California. Jacob U is on. Okay, hey Jacob University, let me know if my orientation is fine, if I can keep it this way, or if you want me to turn my phone, but I think we're good. By 12:02, I'm gonna get started. So what we're doing today is 12-minute makeup. Whoa, a fuzz just went flying by. I did put on my mascara while I waited to go live, because that to me is the like most annoying part of makeup. I want to separate my lashes, and you all know how to do that. So I just figured I'd get that out of the way so that we can do just a palette of Saint, and that's it. You'll see exactly, okay, we're good whichever you prefer. I prefer this way because my eyeballs can't focus when I'm in landscape. It's weird. I get all awkward. So if this is good, we're gonna stay in portrait mode. Good morning. Okay, 12:02. Let's get started. Y'all look at this thing that I got from Temu. Don't come for me for the Temu purchases, but my daughter, we'll just do it like this. That'd be fine. My daughter sends me her Temu cart like every day, and I'm like, whatever. But I have laughed at people in these things for so long, but I thought I'll just get one from Temu, because what's there to lose? It looks stupid, but it's doing the job. Good morning from coastal South Carolina. Okay, first of all, let's talk about this palette. I'm going to do 12-minute makeup. Alexa, set an alarm for 12 minutes. It's set. I've never done it like this before, but I thought that would be fun to try. So most everything that I'm going to use is here, but I do have my eyeshadows down here. I thought about just doing a palette 12 for 12-minute makeup, but honestly, 12-minute makeup can be anything you want it to be, whether it's a palette 4 with just 4 basic, you're going to spend way less than 12 minutes, but you could stretch it out. It could be a triple decker with everything and another layer here. It's all about the ease of how we apply, right? So I'm going to start with my contour. I kind of like doing it this way. The premise of our makeup is one layer, right? So I find that if I start with my highlight shade, I end up layering more than I want to. And I do have some spots, some sun damage. I'm 42. Oh my God, I'm almost 43. So I have some places on my face that I definitely need some coverage for, but all these things are coverage, right? So we don't have to layer. So I'm gonna start with my contour color, and we're gonna just swipey, and I go light if I need to add more. Like I want a little bit heavier. I got a 5 head, so my daughter loves to tell me. I mean, I literally can turn my detail brush this way. Like that's how big my head is. So you can start as light or as heavy as you want, and just know that you're gonna blend it out. All right, we all know that, right? So we're gonna put our cream contour all the way across the head. I sometimes even bring it down a little bit here on both sides, like touching my eyebrow. I want my forehead to disappear. Okay, just still using the same detail brush. I'm just patting it lightly. Hey from Michigan, hello. And then I'm just gonna stamp right here on my cheekbones, just slightly under and on my cheekbones. I'm gonna apply everything and then blend after. I like to apply 3D foundation. I sort of blend as I go a little bit, but really not. I mean, I like to let it sit there and warm up on my skin. This probably goes without saying. Looks a little darker over here, doesn't it? But you want your skincare, you want to have your skin completely prepped before you do this. The better your skin is under the makeup, the better the makeup looks. So I have washed my face. I've gotten my morning serums on, like vitamin C and hyaluronic. And then I add an extra touch of a really hydrating cream under my eyes. I actually used the Saint cream today. I used Saint cream. So one tiny little pump, and I just patted it right here in the under eyes. If you're mature skin, you're gonna wanna make sure that area is super hydrated, okay? So I'm gonna take the edge of my detail brush and just pat it, not the whole detail, just the edge. Good morning from Wasilla, Alaska. I bet you hear all the time, like, that's Sarah Palin's hometown, right? I will never forget Wasilla, Alaska, just for that. And I'm just dragging it down the center. My rule of thumb for nose contour is to see that bright light. You just go right on either side of it. Try to stay as close as possible to the top of your nose. The wider, the wider your marks are, the wider your nose looks, and you're sort of not helping yourself out. So stay really close to on top of your nose. And then if you stop right here, you want to kind of connect it back to your eyebrow and add that shadow in to make it look super natural. Now, if you want the juicy lip, you can always contour under here. I don't always do that, but that's absolutely an option with that smaller edge. And then we're gonna do our jawline. If y'all have any questions, please ask, because this is actually very much easier to see. Like the comments are easier to see than I feel like normal. Okay. I don't know why it looks like so much more pigmented down here. Probably because I got a 5 head, but I promise it looks all the same. I am gonna go ahead and blend my neck down because I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all. I forget to do that. I'll get back to my face and all of a sudden I'm walking out the door and it's like, I'm like that. So you don't want to do that. You might want to go ahead and just drag that down your neck. Now see how white all of us are white under here, which is why we don't want to teach you to try to match your neck, because then you'll feel like a ghost. Your neck is already a ghost, right? So it's easier to use your contour or your bronzer to match your neck to your face versus face to neck, if that makes sense. All right, bring it all the way down and around. And then my chest is probably fine, but it's covered, so we're not worried about it. We just want to blend that neck down. Okay. Fellow 5 head here. I know. I mean, it is what it is. When my hair is not pulled back like this, it's not as bad, but it is what it is. You always forget to try contour first. Mary, I find that my coverage is the same, but you don't have that extra, like you don't have a layer. There's just no way around it. If you put your highlight on first, you're going to have a little bit more of a layered effect, which is okay. And I'll do that sometimes, but if you want the traditional just one layer, I recommend trying contour first. All right, so our contour is all in place. That's everywhere I'm gonna put it. Now I have 3 highlight shades here. I am a level 4. So I've got Sandy, June, and Candlelit. I am going to tap, I'm gonna start down and kind of work up. So I'm gonna tap a little bit using the same brush into my Sandy. And I am a little lighter than I used to be, but I think it's good because here's the deal. If you have redness or any sort of discoloration in your face, it is always best to go darker because you can use a lighter hand. See, that blending Sandy out is just, it's gonna give me like a flawless coverage. I'm not gonna have to add concealer. So when we watch these tutorials on, you know, TikTok and the things like that, the new age things, they're gonna teach you to put concealer on, like the traditional concealer, and then your foundation, and then. And that's great. That's fine for people that can wear that. But for those of us who either want a much lighter look of makeup, you don't want as much texture, visible texture, you're gonna see texture, we all have texture on our face. If you don't want the visible texture on your face, you want the lightest hand possible, then you are not gonna want to layer anything. So darker is better. Darker is always gonna give you that coverage element. And I do stipple it. I just sort of press it in. Again, we're gonna blend out a little more when we blend contour, but I like to see how my coverage is looking. And I know it looks heavy. Like I'm looking at it right now and being like, that looks heavy. it looks covered, but it is not. It is so not heavy. It's super light. It feels like skin. It's not heavy at all. And the more you stipple it around, the lighter it gets. But look at the difference in how red my skin is. You don't notice it as much until it gets some coverage. So I can take that Sandy and just still push it all the way up, bring it. You can see there's hardly any product left on the brush, so that's still going to be red. But that's adding that blending, you know, just adding the blending. Hey, from Kansas and Nashville. Hello, you guys. All right, so now I'm going to pop into a little bit of June and just touches here and there. I don't add a whole lot of coverage up in here, but clearly I'm red. So this is where our bridge shade comes in, right? Our camo shade. I've used my camo shade, my darkest one, to cover kind of down here, bridge the gap between here and here. Now my bridge shade, I'm gonna just pop a little bit right there because this is lighter. So it's gonna bring attention and light up to the face, like up to the eyes. We want all the attention on our eyes, right? And I'm gonna put a little bit in that spot, kind of right here between the brows, just feathering it in. It is such a light hand. And now I'm gonna flip over and touch this small part into my brightest shade, which mine is Candlelit. And I'm gonna put just a touch right there, because again, we're blending out. We're blending out, so you don't have to do a giant amount, just little bits. Oh, that looks like a question. Watching people put on layers and layers of liquid makeup. Yeah, we all know. We all know what you're talking about, girlfriend. We do. We know exactly. And it's fun to watch. Like I get the draw to it. Like it's like, wow. You know, you just sit there and you watch these people and it's like, how's this gonna end? And it ends and you're like, wow, okay, that was better than I thought. But the reality, and then I put a little of that bright shade right here and draw a little line up. This is a faux facelift right here. It's a faux facelift. We're gonna draw it up. And if you wanna get real crazy, you can give yourself a little lift right here. This bright shade is where you're gonna do all the shape shifting, right? You're gonna put it down the center of your nose, between the eyes, lift, 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 lift. You can put it center. There you go. Okay, this is pretty much where we stop with our foundation. We've not layered anything. It's all in its spot. With whatever's left on my brush, I am going to go ahead and put on my eyelids. And this is gonna be a good primer for our shadow. Let's go ahead and blend that out. There might not even be enough left over here, but yeah, there is. That's great. That's great. All right, blend, blend, blend. Here's where I'm living. Now I'm gonna pick up my blush bronzer brush because this is my favorite one to blend out with, this small. Which, would you tell us which brush that is? This is the detail brush. If you could only pick one brush to use with Saint, that's what I would recommend. I just think it does the most. Like I said, you could honestly do your eyeshadow, all your contour, you can do everything. You can do everything with the detail, but don't just stop there. But if you had to, get the detail. All right, with the smaller end of the blush bronzer brush, I'm gonna put this down. I feel like I'm like, hi from St. Genevieve, Missouri. Hello. Okay, I'm going to stipple. I start from the bottom and we're just gonna make sure, oh, it's been 12 minutes. Well, I failed on that. Thank you, Alexa. Thank you. All I've got left is a little blush and bronzer and we're gonna do some eyeshadow. Please Alexa, turn off. I tried. I knew it could be 12 minutes, but this is what happens when you talk. So, Team Jacob, I'm super sorry. It's a talking problem. It's really a talking problem. All right, take the brush and you're just pressing, pressing, pressing all around. And if you guys are on this super time crunch of lunch break and all you had was 12 minutes, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. All right, I'm gonna speed this up. I'm gonna speed it up, I promise. We are just pushing with the blush bronzer and I go into the highlight shade first. I wanna make sure that is completely pushed in everywhere. There's no visible signs of texture or anything. I want it to look just like my skin. Now what's left is this contour, so I'm gonna do the same thing and just push, push, push all the way up into the hairline. You want it to be ending right here in your ear. You want it to go all the way in there. All the way in there. You will never use any other type of makeup. I know. I mean, once you really can't go back to not using creams once you have a palette like this. Like, you just can't do it. And I don't know if any of you travel a lot, but if you travel, it is unmatched for that. So, okay, we are all blended. Everything's done. Did I miss any questions? I hope not. Okay, next up is bronzer, illuminator, and lip and cheek. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip that brush over. This is, again, the blush bronzer brush, into my bronzer and just warm it up just a little bit. Just add a little warmth. We are gonna, I guess you could say I'm layering a little bit here, but it is the lightest hand. Like, I don't have to blend because I'm just feathering on that bronzer. And since it's cream, it's gonna just melt right into everything else. It's gonna look seamless. Did I get it over here? Didn't get it. Light touch. And guys, when I say light touch, I mean, like, do not dig in there. Like, light touch. Feather. Just up and down. Oh, hey, Misty, thank you. If you want to bronze up your nose, put a little there on top. Just, I hope this is a little bit helpful. Okay, I chose 2 random shades, but this is Renaissance. It's awesome. It's such a cool shade because you can make it super dark and like almost vampy, but Christmassy and holly and all those things, or it can be really light. I'm going to show you, okay, I'm going to take the same method. I'm going to go across Renaissance. This just came back. See, it's just very lightly on there. And we're going to hold your brush like hold it down here. It's going to be different if you get too close. Okay, so hold it down here and just, and this is that cold girl makeup, okay? Cold girl, quick makeup. Swear on my life, this could be done in 10 minutes if you are not running your pile, okay? Swear on my life. And just add as much as you feel like. Okay, there's that. If you want the full cold girl effect, put you a little on your nose. You do it, do whatever you like. Measure with your heart. Measure blush with your heart. I'm gonna pick up my multitasker brush. Now this is where you get to play and have a little more fun. With Renaissance, I try so hard to be a bold lip kind of gal. I try hard. I'm not a bold lip gal. I'm really not, but we even it out with this, all right? Love the brush technique. Pie hole, yeah, sorry. You can take the girl out of the country, but you just can't take the country out of the girl. All right, I'm gonna essentially line my lips with Renaissance, like heavy, you see that? All right. We're going full 90s right here, you guys. Full 90s. This is a matte shade, so it's going to almost like stain and stay. It is the staying power. This is cute. Staying powder staying power is unmatched. All right. I like to tilt my head back when I do any kind of lining of any sort. I feel like it gives you a much more natural shape. You actually, it's weird. That was a hack I've seen online. All right, tilt your head back. To the left, and to the right. Okay, we're gonna go this side now. Line up. Together. It fades in a little bit. All of a sudden, I'm gonna have like the biggest lips you've ever seen. Right? Okay, and then, because this still looks a little bold for me, I put a little petal right here. Add or subtract as much of that as you want. I know you might like the darker better. You might like the darker, and you can add a little darker again, but it makes me feel weird to have like real dark lips. So I have to just play around. Now, if you're like me and you got a little bit of extra life on you, you might need to clear this, like clean this area up, okay? Clean it up with what's left on your brush. There we are. We're done. Hey from Hoover, Alabama. Hey. All right, what brush is that again for lips? This is the multitasker. We're going to use this again. If you're hanging out with me still, if you don't have to run off. All right, I'm looking in my mirror just to make sure everything's kind of like I want it. Last step before we get to a quick eyes and brows is rose gold illuminator. We're gonna pop that right. Oh, I got a hair coming through. Pop that right on, and then I'm gonna take that fat brush and just stipple again. Make sure it's perfectly blended. I don't want to see where I've touched with my fingers. And what's left on your finger, hit that nose up with. You can also add it, I mean here, you can add it to your neck, collarbone, anywhere. Brows. All right, we're almost done. We're almost done. And I mean, I'm not that late. I'm not that late. All right, we're gonna pick up the eyeshadow brush. I'm actually gonna use some shades I'm kind of in love with. These are Advent shades right here. These are Advent shades. I feel like the Advent calendar has like outdone itself this year. Someone messaged me on Instagram and was like, what's on your eyes? It's literally this every day now. It's called Dream. All right, this is the GOAT of eyeshadow in my opinion. So I start with Dream and usually end with it. I don't even add anything else, okay? It is beautiful and perfect and it's just by itself. So we're gonna do Dream just in the kind of crease area all the way around, feather up. I'm gonna add a little depth, so I don't remember what shade this is, but I like picking up this kind of chocolatey. I'll look at it if anyone wants to know this chocolatey. Again, all these are Advent shades. We're gonna tap a little bit up here in this crease, just a touch. Give a little depth. We don't want to drag our eyes down, so we're keeping it up top right here in the crease of the brow bone. Slightly above. If you have hooded eyes, open that eye up. See that? I feel like it just makes all the difference to add that little touch of dark shadow right there. These two colors I feel like are so good together, maybe made for each other. I don't know, just barely there. This eyeshadow brush, you don't even have to really blend, you guys. You just barely touch, okay? So it's two shades. I'm gonna flip the brush over. I'm gonna go into the dark one. I like adding the dark under here because I will tight line with Black Friday and it just pulls it all together. I don't put black liner underneath my eyes, but I do kind of smoke them out with the whatever dark shade I've put in my crease, I smoke out with on the lower lash line. All right, if you follow me on Instagram and you have asked what the shadows are, don't be surprised when you see this exact look again. All right, I'm gonna go into whatever this is. I'll look in a second. Okay. And we're gonna tap right on that inner corner with our finger. Same brush. And then blend all slightly with the fluffy end. And that is it for shadow. I'm gonna fill my brows and line with some Black Friday, and you don't have to watch me put on my mascara. So that's exciting. Okay, same brush again. Oh my gosh, all the comments that I didn't see. So if you use the brush you're stippling with, will it drop off colors you've used before, like your bronzer or cheeks to your eyes? I find that is no, okay? Her question, and that's a great one, and I'm glad that I saw that. If I'm using this same brush and I'm going bronzer and then I'm going lip and cheek, are we just mixing colors? I find no, because again, we saw how lightly we're applying, like grabbing it on there. All that color I feel is deposited to the face. I don't feel like there's anything left. Like if for safe measure, if it would make you feel better, you could always, after you apply one shade, just go like, is there anything there? Nope. See, like nothing. There's usually no color left over. And then I went straight to my blush, right? So you're putting such a small amount on there and lightly applying that you're not gonna move it around. It's just gonna stay where it's supposed to be, and the brush is not gonna have extra color. Do you clean the brush between applying different shades? Okay, all right, I think I just answered that. I will show you guys the cleanser if you know, we'll do that at the end if you wanna hang out and see. All right, last is my Black Friday eyeliner, and that is here. I'll put a little vanilla dust just to set. So I do take it on that super outer corner, just a touch, into my lash line. That's it for the top. I don't go into the top much more than that because I find that it makes my lashes not look as long. So I push it up from the underside into the lash line like so. And it's not that big of a difference, but it's just a little bit. Can you guys see the difference in just adding just a little touch in the lash line? I have a lot of eyeliners just to try them. I have a ton. Oh, whoops. And I still go back a little bit out. Like I keep my eye open and go straight up. You want to go from this lower lash line, not on it, but that's the line you're gonna follow. Oops, did I touch that? You're gonna like angle from the lower lash line up toward where your tail, like the tail of your brow is. I feel like that's a good rule of thumb. So just tap up, close, and make sure your little line is connected to your eye. Get a little bit more on my brush. Made my eyes bigger. I think so too, right? It just makes your eyes pop, but it doesn't look like some crazy amount of like daytime black eyeliner, but it makes your eyes just pop open. That's that. That's that. And if you have lashes that you add, if you, whatever you do to your lashes, go there from here. But I'm done with eyeballs, and let's fill. Oh no, the one brush I didn't set out already was my line brush. So eyebrows are as equally important, more than anything, to be honest with you. I feel like that just finishes off my whole face. Which brush is that? Are we talking about this one again, the multitasker? The multitasker is a flat end that I use for my lip liner. It's really a brush everyone should have. It's perfect if you like those small details. If you want to do a super easy, like quick nose contour with the flat one, if you want to cover a blemish, if you want to line, like, and then of course this tip is perfect for Black Friday eyeliner or small detail work, right? Okay, so this is the actual line brush. I have powder in mine because I like to use my brush to make my vanilla dust kind of more loose. I'll show you that. I'll show you that little trick here in a second. My eyebrows match oak the best, so I'm tapping into oak eyeshadow. If you don't know what shadow is best for your brows, talk to your artist, because it's pretty easy for us to recommend either your contour or your contour or eyeshadow for your brows. And I take it and just fill in the gaps. I usually get asked when I do a live and show brows if I've had my, like, how do you know where to fill or whatever? I've had microbladed brows. So I have like a color in the lines that need it. When I apply makeup, I find that, well, you know, microbladed brows fade over time anyway. I'm not adding a lot. Like, it was such a tiny amount, but it makes the biggest difference. So do not skip your brows. Just little tiny, and I hold all of my brushes this far back, by the way. I think that gives you the lightest hand, and that gives me more hair-like strokes here at the brows, especially. I just flick and go. That's all there is to it. Tutorial. Oh, thank you, Reenie. Is it Rennie or Reenie? Thank you so much. Glad I caught the tail end. Well, I think this, if you caught the tail end and you want to see the first part, then it will be available to watch later. I'm sure it's going to live on this page. So anyone that you want to suggest watch a video, you know, any of us that are going, you can clearly just tell them to catch it later. All right, I'm just gonna look here and make sure everything looks like I want it to. That one looks, we talked about this side a little too much. I think I added a little more than the other. So the cool thing about Black Friday that I love is if you feel you've had too heavy of a hand, it's so simple to just clean it up. I was saying I have a lot of eyeliners. That's not the case for most. All right. That rose gold got a little too much in there. Put a little bit more petal on. I think I like, you know, like that glossy center. And then let's do some vanilla dust and any questions. So I'm done. I'm finally done. It only took 30 minutes, but it's 12-minute makeup. It truly is. Oh, yay. You've never seen anyone line their upper waterline. Really? That's pretty much all that I line, because I just think it's so much better that way. And that brush just, you can really, it's almost like you're going into your lashes and not so much like your eyeball. You know, you want to get up in those lashes. It thickens the lash line and just makes them look that much longer. All right, what my little trick is for my vanilla dust is I take my spoolie of my line brush. You guys have probably all seen this. You can make it more of a loose powder. And then you can take whatever brush you want. I'm gonna pick the shape brush. And then see, it's like a loose powder. And then just feather into the areas that you want a little more staying power, a little more mattifying. I have really glowy skincare, like it leaves my skin really glowy. And glowy's wonderful. I want to be glowy all these high spots, but places like the inside of my nose and right between my eyes, I do like to matte that down a little bit more. So I just touch a little bit in those places and call it a day. Maybe a little in the chin. Or if you have a blemish you've covered, you know, you're gonna wanna put your setting powder there. Okay, guys, any questions? Because that's it. That's all she wrote. Maybe I'll curl my lashes while we chat. Rach, I hope it's okay if I stick around and answer questions for a second. All right, scrolling through. I'm scrolling through. What did Cameron Thrasher ask, Misty? Because you're saying you hope not. What do you prep your face with prior to doing mimic? Okay, that's an easy question. It's just my skincare. I do not use a makeup primer. Like, I don't use primers. Now my hair feels weird after having that thing on. I don't use a primer. Absolutely. Okay, so we're good to, if you got to go to back to work or if your lunch is over, thank you for staying. And if you don't want to watch the rest, then no problem. We'll just do some Q&A for a sec. I'm going to heat up my eyelash curler while we do this. Okay, skincare. So here's the deal. If you have like super dry skin, you're going to want to be super hydrated, right? I'm in that point of life where everything's a little bit, it's like the Sahara. So I stop with a very nourishing cream. And then like I showed earlier, I put the Saint cream. If I'm going in with like a makeup look, like a full face, not every day am I wearing a full face of makeup, but if I am, I 100% am going to put a cream under my eyes because that's the thinnest skin we have. And it's going, the moment you sit makeup on it, if you have dry chicken skin up under your eyes, I don't care what it is, it's going to look textury and cakey, and it's not a good look. So, I'm like, well, maybe I should do this as I sit here. That's what I recommend for anybody with like dry, mature skin. For oily skin, I recommend stopping with everyone should use a vitamin C and a hyaluronic on their face. Like that's just lady care, right? Like we should all be doing that. Vitamin C actually helps your sunscreen. So you should be wearing sunscreen. Let me say that. What I wear underneath my makeup has sunscreen. So whether that's a primer with sunscreen or lotion with sunscreen, whatever you use, put your sunscreen on. But I find vitamin C helps more with sunscreen. You want to use all those things, but those are drying for the skin. So if you have oily skin, you don't want to add anything other than your SPF. You might want to find like an SPF spray or something like that instead of like a heavy lotion if you've got oily skin. But vitamin C and hyaluronic together sort of like your face. It's going to suck your oil a bit. It's going to just give you like a tacky texture. So that's what I do. That's what I recommend to any people that ask me. All right. What is the setting powder? It's Vanilla Dust. It's the Saint Vanilla Dust setting powder. Is there a replay? Yes, Sandy. I'm pretty sure you'll be able to watch the replay. I'm sure of it. Cameron, where am I from? I am from upstate South Carolina. I'm gonna curl my lashes. Well, actually, I'm from Western North Carolina. And I was just in Mexico a couple weeks ago, and my husband and I sat on a golf cart, and somebody in the golf cart was like, "Are you from Western North Carolina?" And I busted out laughing. I was like, "What?" Yeah. Yeah, he was like, I could tell it a mile away. And he was from like Michigan. I mean, it was not somebody that I would have expected to pinpoint my accent, but there we were. So I have a Western North Carolina born and bred accent, but I do live in South Carolina now. But we are literally 10 minutes from where I grew up. So I'm right there on the border, North and South Carolina. You forgot your brows once. Oh yeah, you cannot ever forget your brows. It's so important. All right. She asked if Dream is only available in the Advent calendar. Yes, Misty. Thank you for answering that. So far, I don't have any more knowledge about it than any of you. All I know is the advent calendar is out and it's still for sale. I do not know if those shades will stick around or not. We don't know, but I can promise you that these shades are worth having. They really, truly are. They're all amazing. And I feel like they fill gaps where we needed shades before. You know, people have asked me for years, like, what's the most gray? What's the grayest eyeshadow you have? We've never really had a super gray shade, but guess what? We've got two now. Here's the, like, before I tell you wrong, here's the matte and here's the shimmer. And they almost come in pairs. So these two pair beautifully together, and I would pair them with one of these. That would be like the darker element. If those shades scare you, pair shades like that with a dark brown. I have done shades like this with, not these particularly because they're brand new, but in the past, like Bayou and these shimmery aquas and blues, if you pair them, I used to pair them with Philly, it makes it just changes everything. It looks so good. It doesn't look 80s. It's so good. But like these pair together, these pair together, these pair together, they all come in kind of pairs. So it's awesome. All right. Do I use a setting spray? I actually usually do use a setting spray, but the one that I use isn't Saint. So I use this one. I'm sorry, Rach. I'm really sorry, but this is the one I use. I use the Charlotte Tilbury one. It just works best for my skin. So that is what I use. I love it when it mattes down. It kind of mattes you down a little bit, but still gives you this look of glow. I don't know how to describe that exactly, but I love that one. I love that one. Someone asked if you should contour cheeks if you are 67. I feel like you should contour your cheeks if you feel like it, if you want to. It doesn't matter what your age is. If you want to contour your cheeks, you do that. Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. I've taught my mom and my Mimi, who that's the grandmother, and my mother, who they're in their 60s and 70s. They both know how to contour their cheeks. So yes, ma'am. Yes. The replay will be available using the same link. Okay, great. All right, I'm scrolling to see if there's any more questions before I get off. All right, I think it's just, okay, I see another one for setting spray, oily skin. The sponge thing, do you dampen that? Yes, you should dampen that. Mine's not what, that's why I put it right back down. I'm like, this is not even, it's not even ready. To use a beauty blender like as it should be used, it should be twice this size. You should dampen it, and that's another way to blend. If you don't want to use your brush, you can absolutely blend with your beauty blender. There's a million ways to Sunday how you can blend this makeup. There is no wrong way to do it. There's no wrong way. If you want to apply with your fingers and use a brush, if you want to apply with a brush and blend with a beauty blender, I found when I first started using Saint, it was mascara back then, but the most fun part of the makeup for me was trying different things. How does it look if I applied my whole face with this? How does it look if I tried all the things, and I still do that. There's like not one way that I think is superior to the others. It depends on anything, how much time do I have? Do I just want to swipe it on my fingers and blend with a brush? 5 minutes. Okay. All right, eyelash curler, what brand is that? I don't know, y'all. This is from Amazon. I have it linked in my Amazon thing, but I could not tell you what brand. Okay. Everyone's asking about the eyelash curler. I don't know. It's just, go to Amazon and look up heated eyelash curler. If you are with me on Instagram, you already know my Amazon stuff, so we can talk there. But otherwise, just go Google it look on Amazon, just put heated eyelash curler. Okay. Tuning in, how to contour. Is there any? All right, I hope this was helpful. I don't see any more questions. This is still live at this moment, but I'm about to get off, and then you guys can watch the replay or send it out, I guess. I don't know. All right, thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I hope this was a decent start to our 12 days of Christmas, because I'm excited for it. I think it's so fun. If you haven't yet gotten one of these embossed palettes, I got both. I just need to show y'all. These are, because most people here, I think, are already Saint customers. If you're not, welcome. But if you are, these palettes are beautiful. Like, just so gorgeous. So anyway, Thank y'all. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. And here's to our next lives in 12 days. All right.